Greetings to all. My name is Parth Shah, a student from CEPT University pursuing Masters in Construction Engineering and Management. My student code number is PCM 24253. Here, the studio focuses on construction formulation and appraisal, for which a feasibility study was carried out for the redevelopment of residential apartment project. My portfolio here demonstrates project brief of the residential apartment, its location analysis, which was carried out to understand the most suitable and viable location for this redevelopment project, followed by which the work breakdown structure was prepared, which divides the project deliverables into manageable tasks and subtasks. Then the financial analysis was carried out, which evaluates the cost and revenue of the project to determine its economic viability. Let's start with a brief overview of the project. This redevelopment project is located in the west zone of Ahmedabad. It is a brownfield residential project undertaken by the government authority. The project will be awarded to a developer on a PPP basis within an estimated cost of 500 crores and a planned construction period of 2 years. The development will include 300 public housing units for existing residents, 454 flea sale components, and 34 shops for the developer to sell, spanning a site area of 22,754 square meters. Each block will feature 2 basements and 21 floors, along with modern amenities. This redevelopment initiative was driven by the structurally dilapidated condition of the existing apartments. The primary objective is to provide reliable infrastructure and significantly improve the living conditions of the current residents. Moving on to the location analysis, which was conducted for the state of Gujarat. This analysis is divided into macro and micro factors. For macro analysis, three major cities of Gujarat were evaluated, performing a comparative study. The factors considered for this analysis included land use patterns, land cost, FSI, cost of living, population density, economic growth, transport connectivity, social infrastructure, crime rates, and presence of older residential units. Each factor was rated and scored, and based on the final scores, a potential location was identified. In this case, location B emerged as the most suitable choice for redevelopment projects with a score of 42. Further, a SWOT analysis was then conducted for location B. The findings reveal that its strength lies in consistent economic growth over the years, while its weakness is the competition it faces from other cities. The opportunities include better investment prospects, whereas the threats involve the risks of overdevelopment. Following this, microanalysis was carried out for three potential sites. The factors considered for this analysis included the age of existing structures, site accessibility, proximity to amenities, safety and security, availability of open spaces, AQI, land costs, noise levels, population density, and flooding. These factors were similarly rated and scored, and the results indicated that Site A had the highest score, making it the top priority for redevelopment. Further, a SWOT analysis for Site A highlighted its strength as its proximity to essential amenities. However, its weakness is the limited potential for growth. The opportunities lie in the scope of enhanced infrastructure, while the threats stem from competition with other areas. After location analysis, work breakdown structure was prepared. A work breakdown structure is an hierarchical decomposition of project deliverables into manageable tasks and subtasks, ensuring clarity and organization. It helps in defining the project scope, assigning responsibilities, and streamlining workflows. In construction management, WBS ensures efficient planning, resource allocation, and progress tracking. It is essential for minimizing delays and achieving project goals systematically. For this project, the work breakdown structure was divided into five distinct stages, all falling under the client scope of work. The first stage was the inception stage, which involved initial activities such as scrutiny of applications, obtaining necessary approvals, and preparing tender documents. Following this, the next stage focused on the procurement of various consultants and a developer. This included appointing a project management consultant, a feasibility consultant, and finally selecting a developer for the project. Once the consultants and developer were appointed, the next stage is concentrated on the defining the deliverables for the feasibility consultant and the developer. Now, in the inception phase, the focus is thoroughly on evaluating applications and managing the process of issuing and awarding contracts efficiently. Procurement of client includes the steps of appointing consultants and developers through empanelment and contract awards. Procurement of feasibility consultant includes covering the feasibility study, scheduling, and budget planning. The inception phase of the developer involves securing 75% consent, obtaining RERA approvals, and providing a bank guarantee. Outlining the foundational steps for project approval. The PMC section involves the appointment of project management consultant focusing on project management, construction monitoring, and project closure activities. The designing and construction phase includes detailing tasks like architectural, structural, and MEPF designs, along with the construction activities such as site setup, substructure, superstructure, utility supply, and site development. It also includes provisions for renting to existing users during construction period. The closeout and operation and maintenance phase highlights the developer's responsibilities. Closeout includes document registration and handling over the project, while operation and maintenance covers defect liability period and ongoing maintenance tasks for 7 years. After preparing the work breakdown structure, the next step was conducting the financial analysis, which involved preparing two financial models. In the first model, 100% equity of the developer was considered, while in the second model, a bank loan was considered. Both models were analyzed under two different sales scenarios to ensure a comprehensive understanding of potential outcomes. For this project, a 5% annual increase in the sales price for both flats and shops were assumed. Revenue generation is based on the sale of 454 flats and 16 shops, with payments collected in stages aligned with the project's milestones. Next, the net cash flow of the client was determined. The client's outflows included the cost of feasibility consultant and expenses related to the inception phase. On the other hand, the inflows consisted of the premium amount to be paid by the developer to the client. The internal rate of return of client was calculated as 652%, largely because we assumed that the land would already be owned by the client, thus eliminating the land acquisition costs. Further, the premium amount that the developer can pay to the client was derived by subtracting the developer's profit set as 20% and miscellaneous cost of 5%. The total premium amount that developer can pay to the client was approximately 11.91 crores. After completing the initial financial analysis, we evaluated Financial Model 1, calculating the IRR, NPV, net profit, profit margin, and year-on-year revenue growth for both the sales scenario. In Financial Model 1, under the Sales Scenario 1, the IRR was found to be 34%, indicating strong profitability. If this scenario plays out, the developer could receive an approximate net profit of 99.55 crores with a net present value of 65.54 crores. In Sales Scenario 2, both the IRR and NPV were comparatively lower than in Scenario 1, suggesting that Scenario 1 is more favorable for achieving higher returns. The total profit expected under this model is approximately 43.4 crores, making Financial Model 1 a good option for profitability. Moving on to the Financial Model 2, a bank loan of 70 crore was considered to test the project's economic feasibility. A repayment tenure was set at 24 months with an interest rate of 14%, resulting in an EMI of 3.36 crores. A moratorium period was also factored in, during which the developer is required to pay only the interest, and once the profits are generated, the loan repayment begins. Based on this model, under scenario 1, the IRR was calculated to be 21%, with the developer expecting a final profit of approximately 69.29 crores and an NPV of 40.76 crores. Further evaluations for this model included calculations for net profit, debt security coverage ratio, net profit margin, and year-on-year revenue growth. Among the two scenarios, in Model 2, Scenario 1 achieved the highest IRR. When comparing the two financial models, it is evident that Financial Model 1 with 100% equity from the developer is more profitable than opting for a bank loan under Financial Model 2. This analysis highlights the importance of selecting the optimal financing strategy to maximize returns for the developer. In conclusion, from the location analysis, an optimal location for redevelopment was identified based on the key factors such as economic growth, population density, and transportation connectivity. The analysis highlighted areas with strong redevelopment potential by evaluating land use and social infrastructure. These insights provide a foundation for understanding housing demand and preferences in the identified zones, ensuring the next phase focus on the actual market demand. From the work breakdown structure, we concluded that dividing the project into manageable phases, starting with the construction of 3 blocks out of 9, helps define clear deliverables, timelines, and resource allocations for each phase. The structured approach emphasizes the importance of critical tasks like planning, procurement, and construction sequencing, improving coordination, and streamlining project execution effectively. In financial analysis, the project's viability was assessed by evaluating cash flow, IRR, and NPV specific to the real estate market. This helped in understanding funding requirements, optimizing resource allocations, and assessing the impact of phasing on profitability. The analysis also underscored the importance of good financial planning, which is essential for making informed data-driven decisions in similar redevelopment projects. These steps together demonstrate a comprehensive and systematic approach to determine the feasibility of redevelopment initiatives.